Say yeah, it feels good, don't it? Damn, it feels good to have people up on it. Say yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 27 of Community Chronicles, a DDPY community video interview series. We are celebrating 1 year of Community Chronicles with perhaps our most prestigious guest yet. A man who needs no introduction, but he's going to get a half-assed one anyway. A positively unstoppable challenge contestant, an inversion enthusiast, a man that has owned his life since taking hold of the DDPY program. My friend from Ontario, Mr. Aaron Coker. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. It's a pleasure to be here, man. I've been looking forward to this.
I'm sure. I usually do too. But why don't you do us a favor and give us the short version of how you came to find the DDPY program, what brought you here, and what has the program done for you since?
Yeah, I'll give you the Coles notes. All right. So I guess this really starts like 18 years ago. I was a steel worker. I was 20. I was invincible. I carried everything. I was a material handler. I was carrying 200, 300 pound stuff, jumping off trucks. Drivers always told me, you're going to hurt your back. It's going to happen. Didn't believe him. I kept going. Fast forward about 12 years, so about 6 years ago, and I was in so much pain I couldn't do anything. I was missing work. I went to a specialist, got looked at, found out that every one of my L vertebrae was herniated, bulging, half the ones in my C area as well. So I ended up having emergency spinal surgery. He rushed me in 2 weeks. And everybody that has surgery knows it takes a lot longer to get in for surgery. So it was pretty serious. I should have been in a wheelchair was how bad it was. So that being said, it sent me down a downward spiral of a lot of booze. It was the only thing that would numb the pain, or at least so I thought. Everybody, that I talk to, hey, try doing yoga, stretch it out. I'm like, I'm not doing yoga. It's not happening. Fast forward a few years and I come across Arthur's story. Go figure, Arthur's story, right?
Who's that guy? Who'd he ever beat?
Who did he? Yeah, I mean, come on. So I watched that, brought tears to my eyes, like it does most people. And I said, you know what? If this guy can do it, I can do it. So I started 2 years ago. Ordered the DVDs, which to get them shipped to Canada is expensive. Hey, DDPY, you guys need to fix that. I got him in. Problem was I was still drinking. And so even after a year, it wasn't doing anything for me. I was getting more flexible. I was getting stronger. I wasn't losing any weight. My heaviest, I was probably 275, close to 300 pounds. I don't even know. I didn't step on the scale. So now we fast forward to the 7 months ago, I guess now, and the possibly unstoppable challenges. You know what? I've got to make a change. So 31 weeks ago today, I quit drinking. And since then, the biggest gain that I got is I lost 54 pounds. So it put me under 200 pounds because I started at 253. I've started going up a little bit now since then. I've been going to the gym, so I've been packing muscle on. Also doing jacked workouts. So of course that's going to do it as well. I haven't looked back. It's all about, the mentality and owning your life at this point. Really what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't the back situation. See, I didn't know that was a thing for you, and that's a lot of things to have wrong with your back at once.
It was pretty crazy. I had a discectomy and everything. So,
and then knowing now, seeing you upside down all the time, and knowing how strong the muscles surrounding your spine have to be to compensate for that lack of flexibility in the spine, that's all the more impressive. I know that the first time that I really started noticing you within the DDPY community was seeing your inversion videos, which we still do. We talk about the Sunday sermon on the forearm mount. How did you come to choose the inversions as your kind of metric, your preferred metric for progress?
Well, I think I think you said it right. With all the back problems, I never thought I'd be doing that stuff. And then I saw a video, and it was a memory shared from one of the champions from last year, from Jeremy. And it was his very first headstand. And so I saw that and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. You know, I can't do crow or anything at this point. You know, I was still pretty weak, you know, not much balance. I think I was still drinking the first time I saw that too. And I think it was half in the bag when I tried it, and I ended up doing it. And I was like, oh my God, get in here. So my wife came in, and fiance, and like, hey, you need to record this. I didn't tell her what it was, and I recorded it, and then I did it. And then I just started going from there. It was pretty wild. And then it was, okay, well, I can do better than that. I'm going to, you know, push and do this. You know, I don't want to use the wall. And then I started seeing people using forearms. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we'll see if I can do that. And yeah, I guess the rest is just kind of history, just practice, man. I put a lot of hours into it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, and some of the longest practicing DDPY vets, you know, are still out there doing inversions, just because it's just a fun thing to do. Once you can do it, it's a cool thing that not a lot of people can do until they try. So
my favorite is doing it in public now.
I'm still okay with being right side up. Like, I'm all right with it. So yeah. I don't, I do remember Jeremy's first handstand, and I tried that, you know, using the wall, facing the wall at my, my lake trailer, and, got a nail right in the bottom of my foot, scraped my foot open.
That'll get you to stop up pretty quick.
I was like, yeah, well, we're done with those now. This is stupid now. I'm going to leave. Yeah, still a goal, and I'm still impressed every time I see it. So what's the longest you've ever been able to hold your forearm stand for?
3 minutes.
Jesus. No.
It was 192nd. It was for my my 190th day sober. So a few of the other contestants and some friends and stuff decided that they were going to do a tribute and hold different things for me. So it started with Jason Henry holding a 3-minute crow. I'm not even trying that, dude. Like, I'll go upside down, no problem. I hold a 3-minute crow, forget it. And then Matt Rothenberg, his 3-minute plank, which was huge for him. When he started, he could do 5 seconds. Couldn't do a push-up, right? So to see that, I'm like, well, I guess the heat is on now. So yeah, I kicked it into high gear, and I guess it was 2.5 minutes, and then I had to go down, and I went back up for the other 30 seconds. But
yeah, I can barely hold my pee in for 3 minutes. So
well, we're getting old.
Yeah, I got to do more kegels. Yeah, it's too much flexibility coaching. I wet noodle too much, and yeah, I lose control. So, but and then the other thing that you mentioned, you know, now maybe putting a little bit of weight back on. What was that like for you, making that shift from, all right, this is a weight loss goal. I've gotten to what I wanted. How were you able to? Because there's a mental shift that comes with being okay.
Man,
back up.
That was a hard shift. I'm still grappling with that one because I didn't hit my goal. So my goal for the 6-month challenge was to get to 190 pounds. So to lose 63 pounds, and I didn't get there. I lost 54. So I was close, and I was under 200 pounds for 2 days. That was it. I hit 199, and then all of a sudden it just, you know, water weight and everything else. And I fluctuated around that, you know, 205. So I'm still around anywhere from 210 to 205. And I've learned to say, yeah, you know, forget the scale. I'm trying to be PG-13 here. I was going to say something else, but you know, the scale doesn't matter anymore. That's exactly how I look at it. Do I still step on it every day? Absolutely. I don't care what it says. I can look in the mirror and I go, yeah, there's definitely a difference. I don't have that beer gut anymore. I'm not slouching. I am right now, but you know, I feel great about myself, and that is what I have to think about every single time that I step on that scale, or I look at myself in the mirror and I go, you know what? I've come a hell of a long way, and I'm not done yet. You know, I'm just going to keep going. You know, I want to, you know, train other people how to do this. So how can I do that? Well, I'm not going to stop. So every day is a mental challenge, and you know, that's what it's all about.
You're figuring it out, man. I love it because I can relate to so many things. Like the first thing I look at every day is not the scale, it's the mirror, right? The mirror is my first measurement tool. And I can see from there just little differences like, oh, well, you're retaining a little bit of this today, or oh, you're maybe a little dehydrated today, just by looking in the mirror. You know, and before I step on that scale, I used to weigh myself every single day. Now it's maybe every 10 days or so. because I started asking myself, well, if you step on it, are you going to do anything different? Like, what difference does it make today?
Yeah.
Or are you going to keep just doing the things and have faith that that sucker will go where you want it to go as long as you keep doing the things? So yeah, I love it, man. And the paying it forward, it's weird how that happens. That you find something like this, you experience success, and you get the urge to share it with others. That's where so many of our best instructors come from. And so many people are inspired to get out there and bring this gift to other people who don't know about it. I love it. So what does that look like for you? How are you doing that?
Well, I mean, I post a lot of content, and I try and keep it as positive as possible, right? I think I've had the odd one where it's like, hey, you know what? It's a shitty day. But how are you going to get past that? That's, we hear a lot about living in the 90s. And I preach this at work to my staff now. It's, guys, we can't control what happens. We can't control how we react to it. And so if you just start putting that out there every single day and just being positive, and things aren't always going to go right, but what are you going to do about it? I kind of stole that mantra from Murphy Murph, right? Who do you want to be? How are you going to get there? Mm-hmm. He was the first one I heard say it, and now if you read my posts, it's in almost every single one of them. He's
a wise man, is Murph.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Good role model. And I've recently, I've had that same thing. I manage people at work too, so I have to deal with that once in a while. It's so easy when everybody's grumbling and everybody's grumpy, you get pulled down. We call it the line, right? We're above the line or below the line. Above the line is the stuff about focusing on what we can do to improve the situation, what is in our control. Below the line is the griping and everything is somebody else's fault and woe is me. It's so easy to get drugged down into that it takes way more effort.
It's exhausting being positive all the time. It is.
Yes. And it's a nice break once in a while. Take a dip down there, right? And just let yourself vent a little bit. But if you stay down there, nothing ever improves. It's you gotta come up, and you gotta try and bring others up with you, because it'll improve. It will make things easier for you. It'll give you a more pleasant environment if other people are being positive and happy and putting in the effort to do so. So yeah, I think that's a huge thing, is the ones who understand that the way to best inspire people is by helping to bring them up, not just show them, well, hey, look what I can do, but by helping bring them up too.
Yeah, it's not just giving them the tools. We got to show them how to use the tools.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really what it is. And mind is the number one tool, man.
There's another one that I've heard lately. I started, Ryan Huff's turned me on to the American Glutton podcast, Ethan Suplee's podcast. And they brought up a mantra here a week or two ago that's used in the kind of overeater circles. It was just do Tuesday, right? When we get overwhelmed by what's next and what's coming and obligations and oh my god, the scale's doing this, the tape measure's doing this, and now I'm starting to freak out because I'm putting all this work in and I'm not seeing what I want. Just do Tuesday. Just do today, and do what you can do today to get you to where you want to be, right? And don't let that other stuff worry you just yet. Just worry about doing today. And so that's kind of been my shtick for the last month or two here, is I try not to get flustered by what's coming or what I got to do next, and just worry about what I can do today.
Right.
So what happened? Now, you mentioned you've been doing DDPY for 2 years, but you weren't in the community the entire time. So how did that help you really flip the switch?
Oh man,
with the community.
Yeah, no, it was great, because again, doing it for a year, and I guess I was on, because there's two different pages, right? There's one that is run by the DDP people, mm-hmm. which I kind of got on. I'm like, I don't see anything happening. Like, what is this? I see the odd story now. They're a lot more good at they're posting stories and all this stuff, but at the time there wasn't much. And then all of a sudden I stumbled across it. And I'm like, oh, wow, at that time, there was only, I want to say 45, 50,000 people, right? So in a year, it's already gained, 20,000 member momentum. was going crazy. And then I got reached out to from Brian Jones, just like a lot of people have, brought me into the community. And, then I started talking to people because I'm an extrovert. There's a lot of introverts, extroverts on this group. And I happen to be one of those people. I've always been able to get along with people. As long as you give me a reason to like you, I'm going to like you. If it's the other way around, we're not going to talk about that, right? And then it's just being out there and putting out the content, because there's always somebody that's going through the exact same thing, or something very close, or someone that needs to hear that one thing that, you might say, and that's going to change their whole outlook. They might be sitting there for all we know with a gun in their hand. We don't know, ready to jump off that ledge. And, you relate to them in a certain way. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, one more day.
I can recall the first post that hit me like that. To be honest with you, it was summer of last year. Might have been the late spring. It was one of Brian Tan's, daily journals. And there was a quote in there that I can remember, even had it printed on a tank top for him and sent it to him. And it was, get I could never the fiddlesticks _ crap kicking heck out of your vocab. Right. So it's not the most eloquent thing in the world, but basically just stop saying I could never or I will never. You could. Right. Whether you will or not is totally up to you.
That's it. It's all about,
and the work could be able to do things you never thought you could do.
Yep. I posted the other day, and it was again about putting the work in, but it's not the physical work. Everyone just automatically assumes that, when you put the work in, I got to go do the workout. That's not just it. It's nutrition, it's the workout, it's the mind.
Yes. Wow. But look at us, huh? Just two guys here waxing philosophic on how to change your life.
Who would have figured that was going to happen, eh?
Yeah, well, it's like move over, Tony Robbins. Aaron Coker's in the house. So, but anyway, one last thing I wanted to bring up. You mentioned earlier while we were chatting before we went live here, your love for cheese. So I have to ask you, how did you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally for your role as Jimmy in the Canadian dairy commercials of the late 80s, early 90s?
Well, I was 6 years old at the time. So I think the incentive was micro machines. That's what I remember. I didn't care about the money.
I'm sorry, you were paid in cheese?
Micro machines. So they're like they're dinky cars, but they're the little mini cars.
Oh, yeah.
So every day on set, I'd get a little micro machine.
I don't think that's legal. Like, I think they have to give you money.
I got paid.
Okay.
I don't have the money anymore. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But they're not watching this anyway.
Well, no, nobody is. I mean, Murph is.
Yes.
But aside from Murph and maybe you, I'm not sure if anyone ever will. So.
Well, I think we're up to 19 viewers now, right? So.
Yes. Yep. We keep forcing it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
There's nothing to get prepared for, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that worried about it, but we're at least like the number 2 DDPY community podcast out there as of today.
We'll take
tomorrow. Somebody may post something else, and we'll get shot down to number 3.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, though for those who haven't seen it, I'll drop a little bit of a screenshot here of Aaron's acting experience as a former child actor, and it's inspiring to say the least. So I'm going to request before we go into the rapid fires, could I get a more cheese, please, from you?
We want some more cheese, please.
All right, that's awesome. My favorite Aaron Coker quote is. I should say Jimmy quote. I'm going to rope this cheese.
I'm going to rope this cheese.
And then you didn't rope it. You poked it with a fork, but I digress.
The one where I'm like, I bite his head off, the alligator cheese one.
I haven't seen that one.
That one
don't spoil it. No, wait. Spoiler alert. I haven't watched the entire catalog.
I can't find it. I thought that one was on there.
No, I gotta look
messaged
that one up.
whoever posted them, and I
I'm
was
thinking of
like,
Sleepy Jimmy asking what's for breakfast and then declaring he's going to rope the cheese.
yeah, that's great.
So, because I was inspired when I found out that you have acting experience, I decided that the rapid fires for this episode would be James Lipton style. So, are you ready?
I don't know who that is. Sure.
Inside the actor's studio. Geez, I can't even with you.
Because I was
a Bravo in Canada. So, anyway.
All right. Well, either way.
All right. So I literally just ripped off his questions for some of these.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite word?
Fuck.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. 5 stars. What's your least favorite word?
Probably fuck as well. I use it too much.
Well, I mean, I think
it would be can't.
There you go. That's not cliche at all. What turns you on? That's straight off the Wikipedia page. I'm not trying to be creepy.
A mustache.
What turns you off?
Follicular.
But I'm sorry, what turns you off?
It's called follicular, a mustache.
No, I mean, next question, please. You're making me uncomfortable.
I don't even have an answer for that. My fiance, that's probably the best answer.
I don't think she'd want to hear that. I said off.
Oh, turns me off. I think you said turns me on. And I'm like, man, we're getting pretty deep.
I just wanted to get past the mustache discussion.
Friends and all, but lying. Yeah, lying turns me off for sure.
Lime.
Lying.
Oh, lying. I thought you said like the citrus fruit. And I'm like, well, that's I'm not going to kink shame, but yeah, what did a lime ever do to you? But yeah, lying sucks. Anyway, what sound or noise do you love?
Rain.
What sound or noise do you hate?
My dog. Because she doesn't know how to bark like a normal dog.
One of those two. Well, we covered this one already. Your favorite curse word. You jumped straight to it.
Sorry.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Personal trainer.
What profession would you not like to do?
Potato farming.
But I can relate.
No, probably a mechanic.
Yeah. Potato farming is a rough racket, man. I don't recommend it anyway. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did it.
Perfect. Love it. What is the best advice you've ever received?
One more.
And the worst advice?
One more.
Oh God! Somebody worked on this. Somebody did his homework. I love it.
I thought a lot about that one today, and that's
great. It's great, man. I love it. All right, man. You survived the rapid fires. So then next year, as we come toward, we wrap up Act 3, is we need you because our show is all about community. I know a lot of you think it's it's a vanity project for me, putting myself out there in front of, pairs and pairs of you. But why don't you give us at least one member of the DDPY community that you think deserves a little bit of recognition and tell us why?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've, again, thought a lot about this one, and I've got quite a few, but I'm just going to narrow it down to a couple right now. One is going to be Brittany Rose. She has done absolutely phenomenally this year. She was, one of my number one fans right off the get-go. We talked, we hit it off. She's just awesome. Next one is Matt Rothenberg. Again, just one of those guys who reached out to me early on. We hit it off. Another fellow Canadian, even if he is all the way out on the East Coast, and he's just killed it this year. His mentality is completely changed. Someone that I don't think gets quite enough credit or talked about quite a bit is Patrick Sims, the champion from last year. become quite close with him. And, he's a super positive guy, and he's always out there and talking to people as well. You didn't hear his story last year. All of a sudden he was just there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and on top of that, Stephanie Kelly, again, Candy, people, these guys have been reaching out to me and, having personal conversations, and they're awesome people. There's so many more that deserve shout outs, but we've only got so much time.
I agree. I go straight to Kelly with all of my food prep questions.
Oh yeah.
Because she always has the answers. Pick some great people right there. The hashtag No Excuses Brigade with Brittany and Matt there. So I love it. Well, Aaron, it's been real. This has been great. But we got to ask you to do one more thing before we go, and that's give us a bang to shut her down.
All right. Remember, Warriors, be positively unstoppable and own your life. Do it again tomorrow. Bang.
All right. Thanks, everybody. He stole my line. We'll see you next time. Peace.
For money, got my happiness today. I'm feeling great, and if you smile all the time, then your face gon' turn that way. Yeah, it feels good, don't it? Damn, it feels good to have people